do you mean by the 84? What possession?
Mahayana teaching.
So that the Buddhism
not original teaching, their mind, they're very dangerous. Like Tibetan Buddhism, it's called the secret school because they have a lot of secret teachings. They don't want you to know. Yes. Japan, the Fang Pian, the monk can take a wife. And then the temple become a business. When he want to do chanting, he put on the monk robe. When he don't do chanting, he wear the layman clothes. Then after he pass away, the temple he will give to the son to do business. And the son will give to the grandson. But Tibetan Buddhism is very corrupt because they practice what they call Shuang Xiu. Shuang Xiu means, they call it Tantric Buddhism. Comes from Tantrayana, where the monk can make love to the disciple. And then the monk can keep many, they call female consorts. They call Formu. And then they learn these mantras. These mantras are very powerful words. Don't be a fool with mantras. Mantras, they can make black magic using mantras. They can overcome black magic using mantras. And they use mantras to control the spirits. And then in Tibetan Buddhism, the high lamas, they go into the trance, just like Taoism. Go in the trance. You can see on YouTube nowadays a lot of things on YouTube. So all this is not Buddhism. Actually, it is before Tibetan Buddhism started. They had a religion called Bon religion in Tibet, and that Bon religion is very similar to Mao San. Mao San dabble with black magic. Pure Land. Pure Land is supposed to have come from Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism, they pray to the sun god. So the sun every day sets in the west. So they say Amitayus became Amitabha Buddha. When Buddhism was deteriorating in India, so people start to go back to the Hindu temples instead of to the Buddhist monks. Then to attract people, they bring some of the Indian gods into Buddhism and call it Bodhisattva and call it Buddha. So Amitabha is one of those. It's a sun god they brought actually from the Persia side. From Persia came in, and then because the sun sets in the west, they say Amitabha stays in the west. So you see the description of Amitabha, Wu Liang Guang, Wu Liang Shou. Wu Liang Guang is the sun. Wu Liang Shou also is the sun. Limitless light and limitless life. And then Kuan Yin also. Kuan Yin originally is an Indian god with many hands. Now you go to Indian temple also, you can find the god with many hands. So it was called Avalokit Iswara. The word Iswara, Pali is Isara. It means God. It means God. So it's Avalokit God. So when they brought into Buddhism, actually it's a man god, Deva. So if you go to China, the earliest statues of Kuan Yin is a man. It's a man. So China very smart, give them a sex change operation, become a beautiful girl.
The other hand, usually Buddha basically to basically the female disciples.
Yeah.
So after he started to know also with the Mahathera is teaching him 500 years. How do you listen to the Dhamma? Is this simple?
You are talking about the Dhamma or you are talking about nuns?
No. Now we have the nuns, right? After the order.
Yeah.
But we still hear the Dhamma. You already mentioned, we recognize the teaching of religious languages. But not only 2,500 years.
Yes. What the Buddha meant is that for 500 years, the Dhamma will be unpolluted. No false Dhamma for 500 years. So during these 500 years, after the Buddha's passing away, we need to know what was the Dhamma. And fortunately, during these 500 years, we have Emperor Asoka. Emperor Asoka lived about 250 years after the Buddha passed on. And the Emperor Asoka had so much faith in the Buddha that he created these stone pillars, round columns of stone, and he got the men to carve the words of the Buddha, carve out the words. Now, after 2,500 years, they have dug up these columns, Asoka pillars, and they find only 5 Nikayas existed during Asoka's time. The Digha Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, Sangyutta Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya, and Khuddaka Nikaya. No other Dhamma existed. Later, like for example, 500 years after, Mahayana Sutras start to appear. And where did they come from? Longsu Pusa. Nagarjuna was his real name. He started to write these books, and then they asked him in his biography, Sichuan, they asked him, how is it previously we don't have such books? Now you say all this is Wusu or Wen. What did he say? He said the Buddha hid the books in the dragon palace. Then he went into the dragon palace and took out all these books. How can we believe? Because during the Buddha's time there were no books. They only transmitted by word of mouth. Also, you find the Mahayana Sutras, at the end of the sutra, it says the Buddha asked people to reprint all these suttas and distribute. How can the Buddha ask people to reprint these suttas when there were no printing during the Buddha's time? So that is Mahayana. And then in Theravada, you have the Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma also started 500 years after the Buddha passed away. And then they say, just like the Mahayana, they say they are superior. Don't listen to the sutras. The suttas is low standard. So the Abhidhamma also, people who follow Abhidhamma, they also say the early suttas are low, no need to study. Mahayana also say. Maybe lah, but according to a professor from Tokyo University, Akira Hirakawa, he was a top authority on the history of Buddhism. He wrote a book about the history of Buddhism. He said the most reliable words of the Buddha nowadays is found in the Pali Suttas. He studied both Mahayana and Theravada. Both also he studied. But he said the most reliable is the Pali Sutta. Abhidhamma, there's 2 types of Abhidhamma. One is in the early suttas, we find the word mentioned, Abhidhamma. Abhi means higher Dhamma. So in the early suttas, when this word is mentioned, it refers to the higher teachings. And the higher teachings refers to what they call the Sansachi Tao Pin, 37 Bodhipakya Dhamma. And this 37 Bodhipakya Dhamma, if you practice, it brings you to enlightenment. That's why it's called the higher Dhamma. And what is this? First is the Aryan Eightfold Path. And if you practice the Aryan Eightfold Path, you will perfect all these 37 Bodhipakya Dhamma. The second one is the 7 Bojjhanga. Then after that, you have the 5 faculties and the 5 powers, Indriya and Bala. Then after that, you have the 4 Satipatthana, you have the 4 Iddhipada, you have the 4 Samapadana. I think, so you have 4 and 4 and 4, plus 5 and 5, plus 7 plus 8, as to 37. So that is the original Abhidhamma. Then later, the monks started to write additional books, just like in Mahayana. So now in Theravada, we have another type of Abhidhamma consisting of 7 books. And these 7 books see a lot of things that the Buddha did not say. For example, they talk about Bhavanga, they talk about Javana, Kalapa, Chuti, Chitta, Patisandhi, Chitta, all these things that the Buddha never taught. So same with Mahayana. In original Buddhism, the Buddha said we have 6 consciousness. But in Mahayana, they say about 7 consciousness, 8 consciousness. All this is Cakapanya. That's why the Buddha warned us in the suttas. The Buddha said, in the future, you can have a famous monk who has a large following of disciples, lay disciples as well as monastic disciples, and he's very learned, and he's very senior. Even such a famous monk can have wrong view. That's why the Buddha said, after I am gone, take the Dhamma and the Vinaya to be your teacher. So our real teacher is Bhante Sochia Monifo. And then what he has left behind for us is the 5 Nikayas. Only that is the real teaching. So I have taken, over the years, I've taken the trouble to speak on the 5 Nikayas. If you listen to these suttas again and again, and you have the intelligence and the wisdom to understand, you can attain stream entry. And today our Brother Kaur has brought some of his players. If you want, you can buy the player and the memory card for 30 ringgit. Because our cost price now we buy is 45 ringgit. This is a special sale. Because we want to encourage people to listen. So we have 2 types. One is English, the other one is Hokkien plus Mandarin plus Cantonese, but mostly Hokkien. Yeah.
One last question. You see this series of this and 2 years ago. So when Bhante wanted to come, they are able to listen to the Dhamma. 2 CD ni. More than 2 are never finished. Then also I think one of the is there, like you mentioned, if you read the Majjhima Nikaya, the first sutta is very title, you will be talking about Kuantan. So when you see that here, you have to find the Nikaya. I think that will be it. And my question is, you want to listen to this only, right? How should I go about? Should I go
you go according to the order we place, which is Anguttara first. Anguttara first, followed by Sangyutta, followed by Majjhima.
At least I listen to Sangyutta first, wrong.
Yeah. In the memory card, we start with introductory talks, and then advanced talks, and then this Anguttara Nikaya, then Sangyutta Nikaya. Follow that order. The player is more handy, because this one you can only play at home. The player you can play in the cart. When you go for a walk, you can bring. When you do gardening also, you can listen. When you are cooking also, you can listen.
There are a few suttas mentioned by Paul in the talk which can lead to enlightenment. One of them is like Dhammavuddho. I remember one of them, but what about the others?
Don't jump here, jump there. The best is you follow that order, listen slowly. But you suddenly jump into a deep sutta. Don't try to find a shortcut. Any other thing?
Any more questions?
Yeah, tonight quite good. A lot of questions.
Back to the chunks. I have experienced once before. We have come in contact with Kuantan. So after all these things finished, after the session, that night, that monk is able to come into me. Is it dangerous and not like that?
They don't say too much.
not so good. Luckily they are a very lazy person, you know. Luckily for my laziness, I was too lazy to follow up. They can be so powerful.
For a person who wants to practice meditation, like how much time should they dedicate to do meditation?
For lay people, advice you meditate early in the morning once enough before you. As long as you can sit, each person is different. You get up a bit early, that means you have to sleep a bit early, and then meditate before you take your breakfast and go to work. So you have a good meditation, your whole day you feel good, can stand the pressure better. Then the rest of the day when you come back from work, listen to the suttas. If you cannot sleep at night, listen to the suttas, sure you fall asleep.
Any of the monks they know their past life and
if they tell you they know their past life and all that, and you run far away.
Very dangerous.
Last time I followed my first teacher, is somebody like that now, always hinting he got psychic power.
But what if we know our past life?
No point one. There are some children when they are reborn, they remember their past life. And they want to go back to that home. And then the new parents bring them back to the home. Then they recognize all these people from the past life. After that, that person goes into depression. The attachment.
Forget about it. Luckily, I do not find money. Are there any more? Any more?
You have a body, but a different body, a spiritual body. Actually, how you got this human body, you must know. Originally, you were a spirit body. Then when your mother and father come together, and then the egg is fertilized, then you jump, that spirit body, jump into that egg. And then slowly the egg start to grow into a human. So the egg is your shell, just like a crab, or a crab has a shell. So the flesh body is only our shell. Our real body is the spirit inside, what we call the lingwan. Maybe last time you were a dinosaur. So you evolve, lifetime after lifetime, slowly become a human. So we have come a long way, The Buddha said we have come a long way. The Buddha said, there's hardly any being you have not been reborn before. There's hardly any body, any type of body you have not been reborn before. Maybe we started off as a mosquito or something, slowly, evolved millions of years.
More mosquito.
I tell you what, last night when you were dreaming, everything was so real like now. Yeah. Then you woke up. Then you ask yourself, where did that man in the dream, that myself in the dream, where did he go? Where did he go? Never existed. It only existed in your consciousness, in your dream. Now it's the same. Though now the world you see that is so real, it's all your consciousness made on. This wall that you see is so solid. It's a mind only telling you, your perception telling you that it's solid. If I'm a ghost, it's not solid to me. I just fly across the wall. So the whole world is how your mind perceives. So if your mind is an evil mind, when you pass away, you have an evil nightmare, you fall into hell, you suffer. It's only a nightmare only. We will only know when we are about to pass away. When you are about to pass away, you find this world is fading away. And another world starts to appear. You'll see it one day, 2 days, 3 days, they get stronger and stronger and stronger. Just like changing from channel 3 to channel 7. Then your body die and then you go into another dream. Life is just a dream only. And now science is saying the same thing. Science says, quantum physics says, there's nothing real in this world. It's only your perception. If I look at this wall, and to me it exists. If I turn away, I don't look at the wall, it does not exist at all. It's only my perception. Actually, the whole world is made up of consciousness. If you analyze your body, what is your body made of? Cells. Yeah, the whole body is made out of cells. Most of it is live cells. Your hair is a dead cell. Your fingernail is a dead cell. The rest of it, maybe some bones are dead cells. The rest of it is live cells. And what are these cells made of? Atoms and molecules. Okay? When you analyze the atoms and molecules, it's all atoms. And when you analyze the atoms, it's like the sky when you see at night. When you look at the sky at night, 99.999% is empty. Far away you see one star, far away you see another star, then you see a moon, a planet, but 99.99% is empty. Same with the atom. Inside the atom, 99.99% is empty. So you are made up of atoms, your whole body is empty. 99.999% of your body is empty. You imagine you're a human being. So in our dream, it's the same. When we are dreaming, you are the main actor in your dream. So important. When your dream ends, you find nothing existed at all. So even now, when you think of yesterday, it was so real, or a few years ago, so real, all disappeared. It's, you really think of it, it's quite frightening.
If one day everyone will be like that bed and under this life support system. So the doctor came in, okay, Mr. So-and-so, your mother already, okay. The doctor will say, okay, no more hope. You have to pull up because cannot under coma or anything like that. So the karma, like the few sons like that, okay, ask to pull out, or the doctor's karma is higher.
That person's karma will decide what will be done. When you die depends on your karma. Your karma will tell your son what to do. Your karma will tell the doctor what to do.
If the doctor tells the relative to pull out, that's it. The doctor is doing the killing.
There is no killing. There's no killing.
Doctor can only advise you. The final decision has to be
And the relative.
Yeah.
In that time, sometimes we cannot make any decision because we normally will consult.
So normally, you don't want your relative to die, so you continue the life support until too long already. Then you realize costing too much money, and maybe that patient is suffering, and then the family will decide to pull out. But you pull out the thing, you're not killing that person, you're leaving him to struggle on his own. If he wants to live, he will hold on to life. If he doesn't want to live, he'll let go.
But sometimes we hope that any miracle to be happen. Is it most of the time? So sometimes we are in
Don't hope for miracle. Miracle is when your relative is dead already and come back to life.
The song you get the story, you think got the scratch.
Okay?
Okay, one last question. Any more? No more. Okay.
Satisfied.
I think we have learned a lot from Lord for tonight. Let us give Lord for 3 big sadhus. And give Lord for 3 bows as well.
Wait, let us